Okay, so this is a topic, like Emily has probably heard this topic like 3 or 4 times, maybe 2 or 3. But it's so good, and it's honestly one that I come back to myself every time I do it. I'm like, okay, I needed to remember this. This is something that comes up constantly. So we're talking about how to handle objections. And I want to sort of fly through this because I do want to cover maybe one or two, like not exactly random, like it kind of goes along with it, but things at the end um, that are coming up in our Team Cup group. So hopefully I'll try to get through this, and if not, then we'll talk about it next week. But this is how to handle objections with grace, positivity, and energy. That is my cheerful way of saying it. So, well, you know what? I'll go back. So what I even mean by objections, because when I first started coaching, I'm like, okay, what? Like, it's any excuse or reason or answer of someone saying why they are not interested, why they can't sign up. These are the kind of the responses that you're going to get back from your invites, okay? And there's obviously like way more than this, but these are kind of like really common ones. So as we go through them, I've written out this whatever presentation. Can't think of my words. So that I kind of write out like their response and then how I respond back. Because as a newer coach, if someone said no or they said whatever reason, I would just be like, oh, okay, well, thank you, or something like that. And turns out there are actually ways that you can respond back to them that it might still not get them to say yes right away, but it gives you information for the next time that you invite them. Because a lot of times people, they're going to keep watching you. Sometimes sending that invite actually helps them to start watching you. And it's really just planting that seed, as we talk about quite a bit. So here we go. Here's just the first, this is like a response I get all the time. I should have counted how many times I got it today. Thanks for thinking of me, but no thanks. And I'm always like, okay, like, you're welcome. So what I'm learning to do, or what I've learned to do, is you're always going to reply back with some sort of question. You want to get more information from them. Why did they say that? Okay. So an example, of course, girl. And like, this doesn't have to be, I actually don't say girl all the time. I think I wrote this a long time ago when I was saying girl, but put this in your own words. No worries. Do you already have a fitness routine that you love then? And to add to that, lately, I've been saying, okay, is it just bad timing, or do you already have your own routine? So find your own way that you want to word that. But I put those two choices because in my opinion, if it's not one of those two choices, like they shouldn't even be saying no, they need this, right? They just might not know that they need it yet. So I give them a reply back. And a lot of times people will answer me. And this is a really good way to find out, are they, maybe they do, maybe they go to the gym, maybe they have a group that they're already in, maybe they're already with Beachbody with another coach, maybe, and then sometimes you find out that it is bad timing. Sometimes you find out that they just hate working out or whatever, but it gives you information. So that way, like I said, if they do keep following you and they're still watching your stories, now either know why, or why you can ask them again later on. And sometimes if they do sometimes they'll say, it's just bad timing. I'm really busy right now. I'll say, cool. Can I check back with you next month? So just give them a question back. And I'm going to be saying this over and over tonight. Give them a question back so that they still have a reason to answer you back. And it just gives you that feedback and that information that, that can help you later on to still help them. Because I believe that everybody needs this at some point in their life, unless they just like really love everything that they're doing. Okay, I'm going to get off track if I keep going on that. I get so excited. Okay, here's one that I know we all hear. I don't have time, or I don't have time right now. So here was my reply a long time ago. I don't know. I totally get it, Mama. I feel swamped with kids and homeschool and work right now. But this group gives me so much life and joy. And oftentimes now I'll say energy, or it's my stress relief. And then again, I don't just stop it right there with why I like to keep doing it, even if I'm busy. I say, would you want me to check back next month when things calm down, or another time when you're ready? And then sometimes they'll say, no, thanks. And sometimes they'll say, yeah, sure. And you don't know, like, if they're fully interested, but they're keeping that door open for you. And so, again, answer back with a question. And a tip that I did here in this particular reply was that I'm explaining, like, I'm relating to them. Yes, I get it. I'm busy too. You guys, we're all busy. It doesn't matter what we do. We are all super busy. And it doesn't, like, every season goes up and down. There's never a month that's not busy, I feel like. So relate that to them without, you don't have to be like a know-it-all or try to one-up them, but just relate to them. Yes, I get it. I'm super busy too, but I make time for this because it makes me feel better. You know, give whatever that reason is. Why do you make time? Because you're busy too. So give that reason. And then again, ask them if you can check back with them next month, or when's a good time. When are they going to settle down? Because I know sometimes I'll have people say it's, you know, the beginning of June, and they're like, well, we're going on vacation and maybe you can check back with me in August or whatever. All right. It's just not my thing. I've heard that one before, or I hate working out. And so again, find out why. It's okay if that's not their thing, but let's figure out why, because maybe they were burned in the past. You know, maybe they had a bad experience. Maybe they've never even tried it, so they don't know. So I'll say, that's okay. What part isn't appealing to you? Like the workouts or being in a group. Have you ever tried Beachbody before? You don't have to write all of those questions at once, but those are some really good ideas, because again, like, they could answer to any of those. If they said like they don't like to work out, we'll find out what kind of workouts they've done then. Okay, because maybe it was just the style they were doing that wasn't good for their body, or that wasn't fun for them. Or sometimes I'll invite someone to my group and they absolutely hate groups and they don't want to do that. They want to work out on their own. So then I'm like, that's totally fine. You don't have to be a part of the group. You can do the workouts by yourself. You can still sign up, right? And then the other question, have you ever tried Beachbody programs before? Because again, sometimes they'll say, oh, I didn't know it was, like, sometimes they'll watch the video and then they'll say, oh, I didn't know it was Beachbody. Never mind. I've tried that before. So I'm not going to be like, oh, okay, thank you. I'm going to be like, okay, who was your coach? Did you participate in a group? What program did you do? Was it DVDs or was it BOD? There's all kinds of questions to find out there. Did you try Shakeology? Did you do the nutrition plan? Because a lot of times people say they did Beachbody before, but like they think it doesn't work because they didn't stick with it. Or they did one program and then quit. Or, you know, whatever. Or they tried Shakeology and they didn't like that flavor, so they think it's all that bad. Or they had a really bad coach. Or they weren't participating in a group. So there's so many aspects to that. Find out why. The next one that you will be bound to hear, I'm going to skip this over, is I can't afford it. Okay, actually, I'm going to go. So I'll say, I totally understand. And again, relate to them, guys. Like, I mean, I guess maybe if you can't relate to it, but say something about that. And it's okay if they can't, like, pay it out of pocket right now. But I'm going to read a couple of these responses and I give them ideas of how they can get the money, right? Because a lot of times people are not good at managing their money, or they're like, they'll know they have payday, but they don't know how much their check's going to be, or they blow it all on Friday night. Like I've had all of them happen. So I'll say, I totally understand. I have a lot of clients that ask for this as a birthday gift, or they use their tax refund, or like this past year we've had stimulus money, or I've even, and this is a true story, I've had one or two people actually sell old things, like an Apple Watch. One girl had an Apple Watch that she was like, I don't use this. She sold it so she could sign up with me. Okay. And so you give them this idea, and I said, you do this to make it happen. Do you think you could do that? Again, I'm asking them a question, because if they really want it, and again, this is kind of like if I already gave them the information and they're like, well, I can't afford it, or I gave them the price. Some people say they can't afford it and they never got the price. And then I'll be like, oh, well, how do you know how much it is? I didn't tell you yet. And they'll say, I looked it up or something, which I think they're just lying, but it's really funny. I'm not afraid to call them out anymore because I mean, like, I'm not trying to scam anybody and I really want to help them. And so all of these questions are me showing that I care about them and I really want to help them. So, okay, where was I? Because I kind of got off track. So yeah, so I say, do you think you can do that? Like ask for a birthday gift, which I've had a lot of people do in the past, or Christmas is coming up. Sometimes Mother's Day, people ask for it. Okay, or I'll give them the choice. How much do you think you can save back from each paycheck you get until you have the $160? And again, I believe if they really want it, if this really means something to them, they will make a way to have that money. And so, but a lot of times people don't think, like, they just think it means right now you have to get it. And I'm here for the long run. So if it takes them 6 months to save up the money, I'll be here for them. And I like want to put that idea in their head because that's exactly how you save up for something that you can't afford, right? You put a little bit aside. And some people just don't think like that, or they haven't been taught. Okay, the final thing is I will just directly say, when is your payday? Okay, and I'll be like, I'll check back with you then. Because sometimes they'll like really want to, but they'll have to wait for payday. Totally fine. When is it? I mark the date on my Asana and I will check back with them usually the night before and make sure they're ready to go. So those are just a few ideas when they say they can't afford it. And again, like I'm putting the ball back in their court so that, you know, they have to respond back. And a lot of times it just helps them to open their mind and think about this a little bit longer. Okay, I don't know if you've heard this one. I've heard it sometimes. My husband won't let me. Okay, so this little response I wrote was like, ugh, men, I've been there, girl. Do not give up. Keep asking him. He'll come around eventually. Maybe you could ask this. Again, I gave the idea of asking it for a present, or I'll find out like what makes him not want you to sign up. Because sometimes it's money, sometimes they think it's a scam, sometimes they just don't understand the value in it because I've been talking to the wife, not the husband, right? And I shared all the information with her and maybe she's not just doing a good job of relaying it. So, so sometimes I'll say like, hey, show him the video that I gave you. Just tell him that he could do this too, you know, there's all kinds of different ideas. But again, at the beginning, I'm relating a little bit. And maybe I would even say like, oh, well, I guess I did say in this one, I've been there because at some point we all have an unsupportive spouse, right? For something. And we have to like push and push and ask and ask. And so, but the whole point of this in me like responding this way is to give her the power and to give her the idea that like she might have to fight for this. But don't just let that be the end all be all because he said no one time, right? And I'm not talking about like walking over your husband or something, but yes, okay. And you get the point. Okay, sometimes people respond with, I'm already with Beachbody, or I already have a coach. Sometimes they say they already are a coach, and I'm like, oh, I can't tell that at all on your page. Like, there's not a workout picture of you, but that's okay. So even if they say this, I don't say like, oh, okay, like, sorry to bother you. I mean, I guess sometimes I might say that, but I will still ask a question because again, you don't know what that means. Someone might have a coach, or maybe they had a coach, but the coach quit and they think they're fine on their own. Sometimes they are a coach, like a discount member or something. Anyways, I still find out what program they're doing. I find out like how long they've been at it, because sometimes it's like not very long, or sometimes it's been a long time. I also ask who their coach is, because if they say I've done Beachbody or I'm with Beachbody, I'll say, who is your coach? Because sometimes they don't know. They don't even know they have a coach. So then I can be their coach, right? That's not stealing if they don't even know who their coach is. Like if they signed up on the website and got somebody free and that free person never reached out to them, that's on them. So that's my personal opinion. But I still find this out, okay? And then I don't even necessarily like discount this person for the future, because a lot of times, you guys, again, I've been here almost 4 years now, and I have watched so many coaches come and go on our team, on other teams. Like it's kind of a normal process, which is really sad, but people don't stick with it. And so I now have that upper hand because I've been here so long, I've seen it. And I've had people where like their coach ended up quitting. So then they switched to me because they don't have a coach, and now they know that I'm coaching. So had I have not asked that and then say they're still watching my story, that's when I would go back and be like, hey, how's it going? What program are you doing right now? Are you still with your coach? Just super casual question. That's an invite. And then you find out, and sometimes they're not. And like, I genuinely want to help them. I want them to come into our group. And then, so I send them a coach change request, and like, it doesn't always make me money, but it builds like that long-term customer in a relationship and brings in that new energy to our group. Okay, so I think we're almost done actually. I can't see the time. I still can't see the time. I have all these things up here. Okay, we're doing good. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna look at my phone to remember what question that somebody had asked me earlier, and we'll address that too. Okay, so this isn't exactly, I mean, this is an objection, but it would definitely be after you've shared all the information. But this came up this week in our questions in our Team Cup group, and so I wanted to cover it because this comes up all the time, and believe it or not, like, there is a way around it. So most people are going to say, I just want the workouts. I don't want the shake. I'm not a shake person. I don't want to try it. I don't need the nutrition videos. And if you've heard that already, like, that's super normal. But again, it's our job as a coach to share the value of why they need to get, and it's not a challenge pack anymore. It's called a total solution pack. I'm going to have to get used to that. But it literally is the total solution. So it really is a better name for it. But so it's our job to explain not only what's in that pack, why they're saving so much money when they get it, but like why they need the whole thing, right? And like, I know I've kind of explained this to some people here and there, but most people don't go onto the website and browse. They don't know what's there to order. Like, they're just following you on social media. They really like you and they want to do what you're doing. So if they don't know all the options, then you don't need to tell them about like just getting a 3-month bod subscription or the $99 bod. If they somehow find out about it or know, then that's like kind of where this comes into play. But okay, yes. So you're going to want to list out what they're getting. You can show them the 2 prices if they already know. And a lot of times, like, if they don't know that there are other options besides the solution packs, oh my goodness, I just lost my train of thought. If they don't know, sorry, then I tell them about the pack, and sometimes they'll say, like, is there something with just workouts? And I don't know if I actually say no, because I'm not lying, but I have a way, I'm like trying to think how I say it now. But I just say, like, this is what I require. This, like, will get you the new program. Because right now you can't get 645 any other way anyway. And so you're getting a ton of stuff. And so I'll just kind of explain that. Now, this has happened even recently with a relative of mine. I won't say. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't say this on here. Never mind. I'm not going to say it in case they watch my YouTubes. I don't know if they do. But yeah. Okay. Never mind. I'm messing up here. Okay, so as you explain it, keep it simple, and don't, like, there doesn't have to be pressure, like, about the shake. Everyone's so nervous about the shake, and this comes up all the time. Just explain to them quickly that it's a free bag that you get with the pack, because honestly, you're getting so many other things with the pack that it really does become free. Like, you can really think of it that way. And it's just all in how you word things, okay? So don't worry, you're just getting a month to try it all. And then I'll remind you if you want to cancel it or not. And a lot of times, and so this has happened so many times where people just wanted the workouts. And I said, well, this is what you need to get anyways. And then like what happens in 3 weeks, they love the shake. They want to be on the discount plan, and then they enroll as a discount coach, like a preferred customer or a coach, and they love it. And then like they don't stop. So, but the thing is, like, had I have just allowed them to get $99 bod, they never would have known that, because the shake is so much more than just a protein shake, and it's really hard to explain. And we don't want to just like throw up on them with like science and all these details about it. And none of us have time for that. We do have good info videos and stuff like that. Like if it really comes, if they're just asking tons of questions, like you can lead to that. But otherwise, I just sort of slowly brush over it. I don't even know if this is like the best advice, to be honest, because our whole business is built on Shakeology. But if they're feeling really pressured, or if they're this kind of person who just wants to work out, don't make it a big deal that they're going to get a bag of shake. Okay. It's just one line in the whole list of details that they get with that pack. And then really keep track and help them to cancel it. I do that every single month for everybody. I know there's probably a lot of coaches that don't do that and don't take the time, but I personally don't want to have that many more returns and deductions from my paycheck when they return it. So I just remind them, and it's nice. And it also gives you, it kind of gives you an avenue to bring up coaching or preferred customer super easy, because then you're like, if you're loving it, you can get it cheaper. And if you feel like coaching, like, let's talk about that. And so I would probably introduce that, like, this is a side note, 2 to 3 weeks in, like as soon as they get their pack, make sure that they tell you, and do they like the shake, and you can help them blend it your favorite way, whatever. And if it's going good, then definitely you want to bring that up in like 2 to 3 weeks, so you know how they're doing with it. Okay, the last thing, what did I say? Share that this is what you got started with and what you require for them to join your group, so that you are sure they have all the tools that they might need. And I explain this a lot because a lot of people think they don't need the nutrition videos. And I'm like, again, you guys, this pack was $160 without the nutrition videos a year and a half ago. Forget when they added it in now. Was it NBF that they started it with? That was last July, right? I don't know. Maybe it's been 2 years now. I can't remember. It's okay. Maybe it's been 2 years. So it was the same price. And now they added all the videos, which I paid $180 for each program to get them all. So they're all in there free. And so, but a lot of people don't understand the value of that. So just say, even if you don't think, some people think they know, they have their nutrition down pat, but I'll just say, like, there's really good tips in there. There's recipes, there's meal plan guides. And sometimes you need to hear something a different way, is, kind of how I'll present it. So hopefully that kind of helps with the, I just want the workouts. If not, hopefully people will ask questions, because I feel like I got a little rambly right there. But the bottom line with getting these objections is that you have to have a confidence in what you're inviting them to, right? That way, when they say the no, or they say the excuse, it's no sweat off your back. You're here to help them. And so you just make it clear that you care about them, and that you'll be here when they're ready, because you're here to help them. You're not here to just make a quick sale and then be gone. And sometimes just walking through these objections this way and asking those questions really builds their trust in the meantime for the next time that you're going to ask them. And they're going to be like, oh, maybe she actually did care about helping me. So if we know this is going to change your life, then we must speak with a voice of leadership and confidence, directing the conversation and showing them that we believe they can make it happen, and instill the belief in themselves to take the next step. That was like a super long sentence. But if you can maybe take a picture of that, but it's so true. We have to have the belief that what we're inviting them to, like, is necessary, is going to help them, is going to be so good. And then like you are the business owner. So direct the conversation. you know, they are probably nervous or they don't know if they can trust you or what. So give them that confidence. They're going to hear your confidence. So the whole point is to not allow them to make the excuse, hand it right back to them with a positive solution. Like you didn't even hear the no, and then they have that like on their plate to decide or to answer that question. Okay, so I am gonna stop the share, and then, oh, that's weird. Okay, oh, it was on speaker. Okay, I'm gonna read this message really quick because Donna had asked, and I know it's almost 6:30 now. I mean, I guess I kind of talked about it. So she was asking, building confidence in the area of bringing up coaching and preferred customer. You know what? I think I'll just bring that up next week. I don't want to take any more of our time because we have just 2 minutes left. So, and she's catching the recording. So anyways, I'll talk about that next week. All right. If you guys do you have any questions? If that makes sense? Is it like information overload? Okay. Everyone's tired. I'm going to snap a picture. Thank you. All right. Have a great night. Bye.